Hey guys, this is some really cool footage that I got from my aquaponics system. It's basically, if you've been following these videos in my channel, it's basically a pond in my backyard, a small, very small pond, like 250 gallons. And but it is outdoors, and on the last video, I had just added, oh man, look at that. They like lock jaws. That's a male bluegill right in that bed, in that gravel bed, that pit. And that's, I would imagine, another male bluegill up in that corner to the right. I thought that was a female. But they went at it. They just like locked jaws right there. Man. So, but what it is the water's still kind of cloudy. It's clearing up as the sediment settles, and the filter continues to clarify the water. But I just added this gravel in the last video, and they really started getting territorial. It really changed their behavior of all these bluegills and red ears. There's only like 6 or 8 of them in here, but they're medium size. Like you can see there, they're like at this point they're 4 to 6 inches. And but I was curious to see, I've been putting the underwater camera in here just to check the health, monitor them, behavior, feeding, just the look of them, their skin and everything, their fins. And but since I was putting the camera in anyway, I added this new gravel and just picked up all this interesting cichlid behavior as they establish territories. And this new gravel bed has become just a hot spot for, there's that other one coming in from the right, trying to creep in on that area. And but oh, there he comes again. And I was thinking that was a girl to the right. She's got a dot on her dorsal fin, and of course it could be just a mating courtship ritual they go through. It gets very aggressive there. I think that's a girl. She's trying to creep in on that bed right there. But 2 males, of course, they'll flare their gills and their ear flaps at each other. They'll sway back and forth with their body, their spine, and raise their fins up, intensify their colors when they get into kind of like a battle, a dueling for territory. And a pair, a male and a female, will do similar movements, similar activity, but then they get more into the they'll like swim on their side in different angles, like side by side, kind of horizontally, and do kind of like a little bit of a dance. Looks like the sun is coming out there a little bit. No, that's me. That's me moving some things around. Like I said, I have the lids, the foam paneling for insulation for homes. I have that over the top of this to prevent the algae and the reduced evaporation. There's some interest. Now that's a red ear right there. He's kind of floating into this new gravel pit. There's kind of a little of an issue on that one side. Now that's the girl, I think, again. The girl, the female bluegill. Now I have seen online where certain, biologists and aquarist wildlife biologists report that the bluegill and the red ear sometimes do hybridize. They sometimes do breed. That's the male red ear. Then that was a female bluegill over on the right, and I think it was a female red ear over on the left. So he's kind of floating over there now over the gravel bed and might be trying to test his ability to claim that territory, claim that area. They do all the, if you've had cichlids, African cichlids, South American cichlids. Now that bluegill is coming over that, and that's kind of, I mean, she kind of floated over there and did something more passive. Now there is the male bluegill. He's going to come out. He's not going to be happy. Okay, so he chased that male red ear away. So now you got that male bluegill. I think he's the largest one in this pond. Got all kinds of activity here now. That female with a dot on her dorsal fin. But yeah, he's kind of claimed this territory. That's a red ear coming in from the left. And that's that other male red ear kind of making a turn past. Then he went back into those flower pots in the back. If this is the first video you've watched of this series on my channel is How To Fish Care. And so I have a couple of videos about, have a video about blue tilapia, bluegills, a couple other pets, snakes, geckos, different things. I'm going to be coming out with a cool video that I got some real close footage of a ringneck lizard, native to here in Oklahoma, and then a good size black rat snake. Yeah, there it is. If you enjoy this video, if you're picking up some tips, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. That helps me out, helps me to keep going and produce more nature, basically, videos like this with some little bit of science, biology, things that I've come to learn over the year of water quality, filtration, checking your pH, your acidity, your alkalinity. I'm going to come out with a video just about, just taking a water test kit and showing you how I check all the parameters of the water, the nitrate level, nitrites, and those are the, basic parameters that you want to check with your water when you're setting up an aquarium or a larger pond or an aquaponics system or an aquaculture system. The more densely populated you have your pond or tank, the more important it is to have one of those test kits, because an overpopulated tank, you can balance that off with increasing your filtration, oxygen input, water changes, but it is something that you do need to monitor, and the more fish you have, the more value also you're dealing with, and so you want to check do water tests once a week, once a month, every couple weeks, something like that. But if you're familiar with, and you probably are, aquarium and fish keeping, you know about maintaining the oxygen levels, the importance of water changes, and flushing out your filter media. Now, whatever kind of media you're using for your filter, a lot of, you go to the pet stores and things, and a lot of them you'll have these all kinds of disposable things for power filters. But whatever media you're using to mechanical to actually filter the solids out of the water, those filters are just full of beneficial bacteria. And a lot of times, at least, definitely initially, wow, they're talking to each other right there. I'll take something like those cartridge filters and things that get clogged up, and just get some water from that particular tank when I'm doing a water change, and just compress that, whatever that media is, that cartridge, that foam. It's kind of like that cotton, like a sock you put in if you deal with power filters. It's starting to clear up right there. But I'll just, kind of compress it with my hands underwater, and they're interacting there, and just clean it out, because, any media you're using for filtration, that's collecting basically a beneficial bacteria colony, and that's what really helps in purifying and filtering your water, and changing the nitrites into nitrate. And then the nitrate is what, if you're doing aquaponics, that's what the plants can absorb. So the fish produce nitrites and ammonia, and that's basically urine. And then the beneficial bacteria colony consume that, and their waste is nitrate, and then nitrate is what plants can absorb. Or if you don't have something like that, you'll get an algae bloom, because you have all this nitrate in your system, and if it's not filtered out enough, then you're going to get an algae bloom. Algae is a plant, and it will just thrive on that. And but these guys are doing pretty good. Like I said, this is the second video I did after I introduced the gravel on the bottom of this pond, and picking up all kinds of cool behavior. It seems like they're settling down now, kind of getting established in the area. Some of them back in those pots. The big, now she's coming in, taking a swipe every once in a while. I guess they'll just keep testing that big bluegill's, dominance of the center. He's basically in the center of the whole pond here. And as soon as they start the courtship activities, and start breeding and creating a nest pits in here, I'll for sure drop the camera in and get some footage of that for you guys. It is interesting to see how just bluegills, behave, like I said, in their natural state, or naturally. We all know about bluegills in our local ponds and fishing. They're real fun sport fish, panfish, and but to see how they interact in a small colony, a school, is real. It's real interesting. So that one, he in the middle keeps, well, he's there, but she keeps coming in from the side, and that might be a pair, right? It seems like, they're trying to establish a pair there, a breeding pair. Starting little by little, every minute that goes by, you can see the sediment is just kind of settling out, and the filter is also working. I've got two filters working in here now. One is your traditional pond pump that works off of household electricity, and now there's threw some pellets in. So you see they're going for the pellets. They've all been trained now on, and so they don't have any problem feeding on pellets now. They did in the beginning, and I caught all these guys on live earthworms, in a pond here in Oklahoma. And so initially I, would feed them small pieces of live earthworms, and then I'd put pellets in as well. And but now, yeah, they've totally transitioned over to pellets, and they're getting their full nutrition, their full diet is off pellets, which they are cichlid pellets, high protein. Now you got all kinds of guys out there. You can see how many of them. That's the female bluegill to the right. Another, let's see, that one in the middle. Oh, really? I'd almost think that one's a male bluegill. He's acting more like a male bluegill. That one over there to the right that keeps darting out at the big male in the middle. So I might be wrong. That might be just a smaller male with a smaller ear flap. That black ear flap on that one to the right is definitely smaller, as you can see. That fish doesn't have the real peach breast like the one there in the middle. So that could be a male. He's really kind of, look how he's going after that. Now that one over there I think was a small female that keeps coming in, that kind of darker one. So they finished off those pellets pretty quick. I just put in enough pellets. Usually they recommend the amount that your fish can consume just in a couple minutes. And that, you can see his whole skeletal system right there. And so I just put, I always, I've had aquariums for years, ever since I was a kid. Smaller ones, larger ones, and just for the sake of water cleanliness, I always, if I'm going to air in feeding, I will feed them a little bit less, just so the water quality never, gets degraded. And so I'd rather feed them less, maybe more frequently, than a bunch and have any of it. I don't really like any of the food to find its way to the bottom. I mean, unless you have a bottom feeder fish, unless you have catfish and things like that. That's cool. They're all doing real good here, obviously. They're doing good. Just coming out of that shelter right there. But they're establishing themselves. Everything's getting clear. And so, like I said, yeah, if they start breeding, then that's going to be a whole different dynamic. I mean, as soon as they have a nest and have eggs there, that aggression, that territorial behavior is going to just go up to a whole nother level. So I'm going to have to watch out. I really was trying to prevent all that by just trying to get a breeding pair in a large aquarium indoors and just have this as a grow out tank. Really, that'd be the ideal scenario. But because of the filter I have, like I was saying before, I've got just a traditional small pond pump in there that runs on household electricity. Now I think here they're actually hitting up against the camera. Yeah, they're hitting up against the camera here. And so they've actually moved the camera and knocked it down. It's a little bit of an angle now and lower, so you can see the whole gravel bed there now. That was not my adjustment. That was adjustment by fish. So we're kind of at an angle here now, but it is cool because you can see more of that gravel bed that I was talking about. It's it's kind of a better shot. They helped us out. Yeah, if you're enjoying this footage, picking up any tips, enjoy seeing this type of thing, please give me a like. Oh, there's now that male. He's was getting aggressive with the red ear that's over to the left. They're really, before I put the gravel bed, I didn't, see any behavior like this when I was filming underwater. But like I said, with this gravel bed, it's creating a whole new um, uh, a whole new center of attention for these guys to try to claim and defend. So yeah, about the filter system, and then I also have a small solar pump. Well, it's a 12-volt pump, which can run off a 12-volt battery or a 12-volt source of electricity, um, and a transformer. I sometimes I run it. I've had it configured where I'll run it off a battery bank that's being charged by solar, or a 12-volt adapter that converts 120 volts household electricity to 12-volt DC current. But what I have it set up as now is I have a solar panel in the yard right on the side of this greenhouse, this aquaponics greenhouse. And I've got a line going underground into the house. And right there I've got a inverter. I'm not an inverter, a solar charge controller. And so that is connected to 3 batteries, my battery bank, gel batteries. And then I've got another line from them, output, basically the load, coming from those batteries out here to, I could have it to anything, any 12-volt device, but I have got a small 12-volt pond pump on Amazon. I mean, real small. It's a real small. But it does a great job. It's powerful. It's a real small size, but it's pretty powerful, pretty impressive. And so that's what I have in here in the earlier videos. If you've seen the plastic grape juice bottle, and so I have just bored a hole in the lid of that, and have the little poly tube going in there, and then I have that that juice bottle, the bottom cut out, and then it's filled with media, plastic foam media. And so that is a whole beneficial bacteria colony right there. And so I've got 2 filters running in this, and you can see now it's passed several more minutes, and with every little moment that passes, the water's clearing up, and looks like we don't have any direct sun. It would be even brighter and clearer if we had direct sun, but it looks like we're getting a little overcast now, and so it's a little cloudy of a look. You can also look for, health. When you're checking the health of your fish, their eyes, are they real bright? Are they real glistening? Kind of like that iridescent, bright look. You can see that bluegill right there. If you can see his eyes there, they're the yellow part around it is real colorful and reflective, and his eyes completely open and healthy. So that's a good sign of health. He's not really struggling to breathe. You don't see his gills like opening and closing, where he's like gasping for air. And so for the oxygen in this, I don't actually have an air pump, which, I've done in some systems I haven't. There's a cool shot of him when he just got into that direct sunlight. But as the pumps, take out, filter the water, I always have that water recirculate and be introduced back into the pond at an elevated, at an elevated height of 6 inches at least, something where it makes a splash. And you can see in the upper left-hand corner, you can see those bubbles to the left, right on the surface of the water. That's a dark female, smaller dark female that you see every once in a while dart in and out. And so as the water, goes through the filter system and is reintroduced back in here, I introduce it at least 6 inches, maybe up to 12 inches, and that oxygenates, reintroduces oxygen back into the water. And I've got, I think there's right now, 4 different return pipes that are coming into this pond, and each one of them are suspended above the water surface. And so that's oxygenating this whole system very well. They should have plenty of oxygen with that. 4 different little fountains, kind of like mini waterfalls, where it's just falling back in and oxygenating the system. It's another parameter that I'm sure you're aware of, your oxygen. And in an aquaponics system, all this water is being passed through grow towers, and so those plants absorb oxygen as well. Wow, that was ooh, man, that's a cool shot with that sun just glistening off him. You can see he's got that huge ear flap. It's like a double ear flap on that male bluegill. Ooh, there we go. They're all coming out. Everyone just wants to check out this center area. I might put some more plastic plants in here just to give them some more shelter and structure, to, reduce some of this aggression and give more hiding spots. Can almost never have too much hiding spots for cichlids. So, wow, doing all kinds of stuff here. There's a pellet that just came down. That'll be interesting to see once that one big male bluegill there actually lets somebody else come into this gravel bed, hang out with him. That's a male and a female, red ear over there to the left. They just kind of butt up against each other. You can see his eyes, what I was talking about before. And some of the striping. You see the striping when they're trying to establish, communicate more of a intimidating signal. Their striping becomes more distinct, and you can see it right there. It's almost like tiger stripes he's developing right here at the moment. Pretty cool looking stripes. Vertical stripes. At one moment, he was just totally almost like yellow on the side. And now he's got that striping. That's another sign, that your fish are healthy, as they, produce more intense colors. Their coloring is more intense and bright. That's always usually a sign of good health. But I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoy this footage, picked up some tips, just enjoy, watching these bluegills and how they interact, their behavior. Subscribe to my channel, How To Fish Care, and I'll be coming out with more videos like this in the future. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share this with your friends, and I really like to grow the channel and come out with more videos like this, how to, where I try to, not just show the fish, but kind of explain things that I've learned and tips just to help anybody out there that's just would like to learn about this stuff or would like to set up something yourself on a small scale or maybe even a larger scale. All this does, eventually could get to a point where it's a source of protein, and then the garden plants also a source of fresh veggies. But I do appreciate you guys watching, and you all have a great day, and I do appreciate it.